I'm a professionally trained chef who advocates for people to cook and eat together. But that's not how I started out. I'm the oldest daughter to immigrant parents. I had to set an example for my 3 younger siblings, not to mention my parents' demand to get a stable corporate job right out of college. Well, if there's one thing I learned, you never disappoint your Indian parents. So, for the next 10 years, I worked at several multinational companies in Atlanta, in San Francisco, in New York. The jobs were different, the companies were different, but there was one thing that they all had in common. I constantly found myself eating at my desk or eating on the go. Sound familiar? At work, the vending machine was my best friend. I could always get a bag of chips in between conference calls. When I was at the airport, I'd scarf down a dry sandwich or eat a wilted salad while I was waiting for my flight. And when I got to the hotel, I would be greeted with mediocre room service. In each of these scenarios, I was alone and I was rushed. Even though I had professional success, I found myself so isolated. I was eating all my meals by myself. So, now I have to figure out my broken relationship with food. And I realized just how broken it was. And I realized I wasn't the only one. Let's think about what we eat for lunch when we're rushed. Maybe we microwave a burrito, prepackaged frozen meals, maybe shrink-wrap food, leftover takeaway. I even ate Tic Tacs for lunch one time. Not my proudest moment. Yeah, that happens sometimes. All to say that I really needed to refix that relationship with food. Well, as I grew up in India, I had a strong connection with family and food. I loved cooking, but back in those days, I rarely made the time to cook for myself. I mean, who wants to cook for one? Or even meal prep for one? Do you? No. Well, I increasingly began to think cooking became such a chore. Raise your hand if you think cooking is a chore. Okay, a few people. That's exactly how I felt. I mean, can you blame us? We're busy. We have apps on our phone. We have delivery. We eat alone. And it's kind of left the kitchen out to pasture. We spend even less time cooking and connecting with each other. This was such a stark difference from the way I grew up eating. I was born and raised in India, where I spent the first 12 years of my life living with 15 of my closest relatives under one roof. Yeah, that's right, we all lived together. Cooking was such a production. My immediate family and I slept in one big room. We didn't even have separate bedrooms. And cooking was a way of life for us. It was the DNA of my family. I was my mom's sous chef. I loved going to the market with her. I remember needing a chair and her help to get to the kitchen counter. I was so excited to watch my mom, grandmother, and aunts make breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day for the entire family, partly because we didn't have a refrigerator. It was in the kitchen that I witnessed the women in my family come together, be there for each other. They debated, they gossiped, and they solved problems. And when we finally sat down for mealtime, we got to talk, we got to connect, and we made memories together. This was how my childhood was molded. This is where I learned life's most important lessons. My childhood is a beautiful collage of cooking memories. Learning the names of spices, washing lentils for dal, stirring pots of curries, dicing potatoes for biryani, mixing dough for rotis. Are you guys getting hungry yet? My favorite memory is watching my grandmother's delicate fingers pinch the edges of a stuffed roti. Watching her fingers dance was like art. These small tasks sparked 1,000 conversations and laughter, and then sometimes fights over who got to do the dishes at the end of the day. When we moved to the US, confronted with a new culture, my mom still held on to this strong tradition of family meal prep. We had a different, convenient food culture, lots of food choices. She recruited me, my siblings, and my father as her sous chefs. Our favorite family tradition is making samosas together, where my sister rolls, my brothers and I stuff, and my dad seals the little samosas and lines them up like perfect little soldiers for my mom to fry. Back then, we cooked to bond with our new neighbors. We cooked in time of crisis. We cooked when there was a family wedding, but mostly we cooked to entertain. When I moved to San Francisco, I was nostalgic for this feeling of family, for connection, for community. I knew moving home wasn't an option anytime soon. My career was just taking off. I was traveling the globe nonstop for work, but secretly, I was hoping for community locally, and I had to find a way to create it. At the time, I shared a house with 2 women, and I thought, this is a great place to start. I lured them with Sunday dinners. I promised to make my mom secret recipes, and guess what? It worked. They provided the wine, and I did the cooking. I made my own tradition of creating a Sunday supper club. This continued. After a while, we started inviting friends, and as you can see here, this is our San Francisco Sunday Supper Club. 12 to 14 people would gather weekly, they'd bring their favorite dish, and we'd have a potluck. Such a beautiful way to connect. It was in San Francisco that I found cooking as therapy. It became a way for me to slow down and be present. Gave me a chance to connect with my friends, see them on a regular basis. San Francisco was also the place where I got enamored with the food culture, the farmer's market, the local produce, and not to mention the wine country. And before I knew it, I had rediscovered the joy of cooking again. My hobby turned into a second career. I started moonlighting as a personal chef. And before you know it, I was working for families across the Bay Area. A few years went by, and I decided to get bold. I rejected my parents' mandate to have a stable corporate job. And packed my bags, I moved to New York and started culinary school. This decision wasn't easy. I had a lot of reservations. What did it mean to be a chef full-time? How will I make money? At first, culinary school took some serious adjustment. I traded my power suits for baggy drawstring pants and white chef coat. Not today, obviously. And it wasn't until I started getting paired up with people to cook and do school projects that I started thriving. Look at how happy I am. This is when we got to run the school restaurant. These were the most happiest moments of my life. So, am I here to tell you to enroll in culinary school? No. I'm here to advocate for you to start cooking as a way to reconnect to food and community. You really don't need a family of 15 to build community. Community is all around us. No, really, look around you. Look to your left, look to your right. There's community right here in this room. We have gyms, we have churches, we have temples, coworkers, friends, cousins, neighbors. I'm going to challenge you to put cooking food at the center of those communities. This simple act not only provides accountability, but it provides a connection. Food is such a strong connector. It builds relationships. Heck, you might even get new relationships. Take, for example, that San Francisco supper club. Started with friends and friends of friends that I barely knew. It's been a decade since those dinners, and I'm still very close friends with a lot of the people. It's just magical and powerful. Cooking also has so many benefits. It's better for you, healthier food, save a lot of money. You get the chance to use your hands to make something delicious. There's a sense of accomplishment and just better for your general well-being. The list goes on and on and on. I'm here to tell you to tap into those benefits by enjoying the pleasure of cooking. I know that cooking can be a daunting habit to adapt. It's hard. We're busy. We have work, responsibilities, kids, meetings, errands, soccer practice, you name it. So cooking and sharing a meal is a very intimate activity. And we don't always make the time to do it. So how do you make this habit stick? First, we need a new paradigm. Let's stop thinking of cooking as a chore. Let's think of it as something that adds value to our life. I have 3 fun ways for you to add value to your life. Let's take, for example, Friday night. Get a bunch of friends and family, invite them over, and instead of going out or ordering takeout, opt to make a simple meal. Just make soup, salad, roast some vegetables, sear a steak if you must, and before you know it, you're popping a bottle of wine, putting on your favorite playlist, joking and learning from each other. At work, instead of going out with your coworkers, opt to have a salad club. Make everyone responsible for one part of the salad. You think you need a kitchen to do this, but you don't. All you need is a simple cutting board, a conference room. You can even pre-chop your veggies at home. This little activity will make sure that you step away from your desk and actually take a lunch break. And at home, here are some things that I keep in my pantry to whip together a meal anytime. You can have your own: canned tomatoes, lentils, frozen vegetables, curries, brown rice. These things are easy to have people over and throw a meal together. It's a really exciting time in food. With meal kits, it's easier now than ever to get your family together and cook, even involve your kids. And if all this is still not feasible and in person is not possible, rely on technology. I still remember when my brother moved away, he used to FaceTime my mom so that he could learn how to make his favorite recipes. I mean, you laugh, but you can actually virtually cook with your friends. Rely on technology. Food and cooking have been at the center of my life. They're the ultimate expression of who I am. This is why I became a chef, so that I could express the love I have for my culture, my family, and my friends. My simple ask to you today, when you leave this room, is reach out to a few friends, cook together. Go home and cook for each other. Bon appetit.